Hey guys, this is Unicorn Pokes. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Botania. Botania is a Curse Forge mod. It will be in the description. If you like today's video, you do have to have Java and you do have to have a PC in order to play with any mods, as far as I know. If I am incorrect, please definitely do, let me know in the comments. So I do want to let you know this is on my server. I am going to be in creative just to give a more better insight on how you can do your Botania. This is also an update. This is posted at the beginning of 2023 in January, so that this is very recent for anybody who may come across this video and need a little bit advice. So we are going to start from the very beginning. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a sapling and you're going to need a book. And this is going to make the Lexica Botania book. This is how you're going to start. So you have these two things. You have your book. Now mine is obviously unlocked because I've been playing with Botania for a little over 6 or 7 months now. So I do not have all the experience in the world. And but this is how much I've learned in the last 6 months on my own. So you're going to open it up. The first thing you're going to have is Welcome to Botania. Botania is a magical or magicianal or whatever you want to call it way of playing with Minecraft. It just makes a little bit extra just to give you something more to do, and there's also a lot more when it comes to Botania. So it's going to go into mystical flowers. Mystical flowers are around the world. You may stumble upon a large variety of mystical flowers. Spotting these flowers don't really take that much work. They grow very faintly and sparkle. And they come in a total of 16 colors, so there is a lot of variety. Once you do have a mystical flower, you are going to have something called a petal. A petal can be used into dye. Dye can be used to make fertilizer. Fertilizer is very useful when needing more, stuff. And then you can obviously make petal blocks and stuff like that. So we have our book. So then we stumbled across some red flowers in the world. We're just going to lay 4 down for right now. And then, we break these. Now we have our petal dye. Now we need to get some bone meal. So bone meal is going to be created. And then remember, one bone meal will need 4 dye to make a floral fertilizer. And I do recommend, when you do have a floral fertilizer, if you are playing in survival, make something called a flower pouch. A flower pouch is on the first page. It is 4 wool. It can be dyed. It does not have to be dyed wool. It can actually be white. And then a petal or a flower. And then you'll make a flower pouch. I do recommend at least having 2 on you when you are in survival. You're going around, you're breaking up the flowers. And don't have the flower pouch in your hotbar. Like, don't be on it where it's like at the bottom where that little white square is. Don't be on it like that. Be on something else so that the flowers go into the flower pouch that you're using. Reason why I recommend 2 is because if you have a lot of floral fertilizer and you're breaking a lot of petals and a lot of flowers, it only stacks up to 64. It does not go above 64. So just keep that in mind. That's why I recommend it. Now, once you do get to the point of having enough flowers, you're also going to obviously have cobblestone, because like at this point, you're going to want some cobblestone. You're going to make something called a petal apothecary. And you can place these however you want. You can place it above ground. You can place it in the ground. I personally like mine in the ground. So once you have this placed, which is on the first page, you're going to want to get a water source. Now, water sources are very useful when you are first starting with Botania, because you're going to need it to make your water. So just make an unlimited water source, put it in, and then there you go. You're going to want to get some white petals. You're going to want about 4 of them, and you're going to want to get some seeds. You'll need 1 seed per flower. So once you have your 4 seeds, once you have your 4 petals, you're going to drop 4 into the petal thing, and then you're going to drop in your water, and then it's going to make pure daisy. Pure daisies are pretty fun. If you do want my personal opinion, at least make 6. That way you're not waiting, because what I'm about to show you can take a long time. So after you get your pure daisy, you're then going to want to get some stone, and you're going to want to probably get some wood too. These are the next two most important things you're going to need. So once you have your stone, you're going to start laying it around the flower. You cannot stack it above, it will not work. You cannot stack it below. It has to be on the level that the flower is, and it's only one block around the flower. It's not more. But you can, place it like this. And then any wood in your world does work. If you have different mods, though, I'm not sure if it would work. But I do know Minecraft wood, like oak, birch, dark oak, spruce, and the nether, crimson, and weeping wood does change into living rock. So, as you can tell, this does take more than a minute. So, once you have your living rock and your living wood made, your living wood will look like this, and your living rock will look like this. Once you have these two made, you're going to want to come over to the crafting table. I'm going to grab some real quick so that I could show you. You're going to want to come over to the crafting table, and you're going to want to make something called a mana pull. For right now, I'm just going to make one. It's not a necessity to have more than one, but you're going to want to make that. And then you're also going to want to make something called a mana spreader. Mana spreaders are made from living wood, gold, ingot, and petals. And I'm just going to grab red. And then you're going to come in here, you're going to make, depending on how big you want your first setup made, you're probably going to want to make maybe 4 at most. So make a couple, and then you're also going to want to make some living twigs, which is made from the living woods, kind of the same way you make a stick. But you'll need 3, and then you'll need your petals, and you're going to place 1, 2, 3, and then petal right here, and this is going to make your wand. Your wand is also very useful. Please have these 3 items made before you do anything else. So that is completing the second row, and then you're going to come in here, and now you've already done the wand of the forest. We're going to wait on the runic altar and the terror steel, because right now we need to be generating mana. So you're going to come in here. It's going to tell you how to make the pulse mana spreader. I don't use it. You don't have to. Yeah. It's really, it kind of just goes off if you want to make it or not. Generating floral. You're going to want to come in here. You're going to want to make something called an endoflame. An endoflame will be used with your petal thing. It's going to be 2 brown, 1 red, 1 light gray. It's going to make your endoflame. So now you have an endoflame, which is really pretty. I really love it. It's very gorgeous. So you're probably going to want to pick a spot to start in. For the purpose, we're just gonna go about right here. I'm gonna make a 3x3 spot of endoflames, and then I'm gonna set 1 mana pool, and then I'm gonna set 2 spreaders. And the reason why I'm setting 2 spreaders is because of the fact that, actually, I'm gonna set 3. Yeah, I'm gonna set 3, and I'm gonna bind all these real quick. Okay. The one that's closest to the mana pool needs to be bind into the mana pool. How do you bind? If you look up to the sky and you crouch and you click with like your place button, it will it'll tell you at the bottom what your wand's doing. So right now it's in bind mode. You're gonna want to bind it. Do be aware though, the further your mana is, if it's a block apart, it loses power. So try not to keep it a block apart. Try to keep it kind of together so that it can, produce really well. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint. If you set your mana spreaders first, if you set endoflames underneath it, your endoflame will automatically connect to your mana spreader. I personally like to make sure that these go in the corresponding row with the mana spreader, because you never really want to waste mana, because it can take a while for things to create. And then we'll just double check everything. So if you only have 1 mana spreader, if you lay down like 6 around it, it'll all connect to that one, so you'll be fine, basically, is what I'm saying. So yeah, so now you have your setup. Now all we're missing is, some power source. So power source can be made from many, many different things. You can use coal, you can use wood, and you can use blaze. Blaze is one of my favorite. I personally love to also have a blaze farm first. That way it is a little bit easier for me to, what's the word? A little bit easier for me to manipulate it. So what I'm going to do is in the back, I'm going to lay down this, which is a pressure plate. It is oak. And then I'm going to lay an open crate onto the pressure plate. If you come down, you'll see that it's open at the bottom. So then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to lay down your redstone. You're going to want to lay down a block. And then you're going to want to lay down another redstone and put a hopper into it. Now, I'm just going to pull some blaze mesh out, but you use whatever you have available. So we're going to put that blaze mesh in. It's only going to drop one. Eventually an endo flame will pick it up, and then it'll go to the next one, and then the next one, and then so on from there, basically. And then as you can see, we are already seeing some generating on mana, which means that this mana pool is about to be good. So, me personally, I kind of like to have more than one, but I also make a 12, not like 12, but like a 6x6, and I put one in the middle, and then I'll put one on the other side, and then I'll have 2 of my mana pools ready to go. And that's how I've always started it. Not when I first started playing with mana, but like now when I make a new world and go from there. That's kind of what I do. So while this is loading in the mana, we're going to start working on other things too. So we're going to go ahead and grab us some living wood and living rock now that our pure daisy has finished. And then we're going to lay down some more, because this is going to be a repetitive cycle. This is something that you're going to want to do, especially for your first couple days. And I'm not talking about Minecraft days. I'm talking about real life, in life games. I mean, in life days. So lay down some stuff, and then lay down some more wood so that you have some more generating, and then, kind of go from there. And then once that is, all good and stuff, next thing you're going to want to do is you're probably going to want to start working on you're still going to be on page 1, the basics, and you're going to want to start working your way to a runic altar. By this time, you should have enough living rock to make a runic altar. You're going to want to make a mana pearl or a mana diamond. Cool thing about it is a mana pearl, we'll do a mana diamond actually. A diamond doesn't need a lot of mana to make it. As you can tell, we've only been into this for about maybe 2-3 minutes at most, and we're going to just drop it in there. And now we have a mana diamond. So then we're going to get some living rock. We're going to need a couple more than normal. I believe it's 5. I think you do need 5 of it. And then we're going to make our runic altar. Now, runic altar is going to be very useful when it comes to our mana, because we're going to need something called ruins. Now, when you make this altar, if this is your setup, you can place it right here and get you a wand, and then whenever you're ready to make your thing, what you'll do is you'll change the direction of your mana. So make sure you're in bind mode, click on your mana spreader, click on your runic altar, and then start putting in your ingredients for the runic altar. But what we're going to do is we're just going to keep letting it generate into our mana pool, and then we're going to talk about where you can find your ruins to make with your runic altar. So you're just going to continue with the page. So the first one we're going to need is some mana powder, which is made from gunpowder. You're going to need a mana steel, which is made from iron ingot. You're going to need bone meal, sugarcane, and a fishing rod. So let's go ahead and get all that. So we're going to need a fishing rod. We're going to need gunpowder, iron ingot. I'm going to go back. Bone meal and sugarcane. Sugar. And then bone. Perfect. So, you're going to drop your gunpowder in your mana. You're going to drop your iron in your ingot, and then we need another wand. Give me 1 second. So then you're going to come over here and you're going to just change the direction of your thing. Now, to make a rune, you're going to want to drop everything on top of it. So, on the right, you can start seeing that your rune is about to be processed. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a living rock, and you're going to want to also you're going to right click this into there. And then once this is ready, I personally like to crouch and click it. And then that's going to give me 2 runes of water. Now, obviously, you know, just go ahead, if you have the time and the patience, go ahead and make all of these if you have all the materials. Some of these can be kind of crazy to make, so just be prepared for a lot of, oh, I need this, I need this, I need to go find this. But also, you may want to go ahead and save the first page of the ruin, and you'll click add to bookmark. And then that's going to tell you where you're at. So, with the terrasteel needs the ruins, of course, and then you need lapis, and you're also going to need a block of mana steel. Remember, mana steel is made from iron ingot into the thing, so we're just going to go ahead and keep generating some more, you know, we're just going to keep generating. And eventually this pool will get full, so then we may consider adding another one. And then we will talk about how to make a mana spreader so that you do not have to constantly come here and change everything. But with this kind of small setup, I may say that for the next episode. Because I really don't want to waste a lot of y'all's time. I just want to help y'all get started, get you in, and then in a few days maybe make another video about the basics of it. So you're going to want to make that terrasteel. I want to get that terrasteel plate, and then this is where you're going to want to make your terrasteel setup so that you can get terrasteel ingots. Now, you can go to the book, and it'll be on the next page, and then you can do a visualizer, and then this is going to tell you how to build it. What I recommend is maybe, you know, have it in the ground to say, and then, you know, use the visualizer to place it, and it will let you know, hey, this is what blocks you're missing, this is what you're kind of forgetting, and then once it says complete, it'll go away, and then boom, there you go. Now, there is a problem when it comes to having your terrasteel. It's only a small problem, so it's not a major one, but you're going to kind of want to have some kind of mana travel from here to here. And the only way you can successfully do that is by, I'll have to make another one, is by having something called a spark. So to get a spark, you're going to want to go to category mana manipulation. Mana manipulation will have sparks. Sparks are made from blaze powder, mystical petals, or the flower, and then a gold nugget. Then you're going to want to make some sparks. So we're just going to grab these real quick as well. And then another thing you're also going to want to make is something called a dispersive augment. This is also found on the, it's like right below the sparks. So you're going to want to make that as well. To make a pixie dust, you have to have something called a elven trading, which for your first couple days, you're not really going to have that kind of setup. So just do be aware that that does happen. So you may want to go ahead and make like a small setup for right now. So just, you know, add some 3 over here, add some mana spreaders, point this mana spreader to the terrasteel plate, and then make sure that these combine with this one so that these power it. Now, to make a terrasteel ingot, you're going to want to get a mana pearl. You're going to want to get a mana diamond. And you're going to want to get a mana steel. And then you're going to want to drop these 3 items on the plate. and then it's gonna start doing like a little bit of a dancey dance. And then once that this is, you know, populated, then you will have completed the first book in Botania, which would be the basics. And so that is all for today's video. If you guys have any questions or concerns, I will be posting mana manipulation in the next video, and I will also be showing you how to find your overgrowth seed, which is very useful when it comes to having your mana. And, you know, show y'all my personal setup that I created in survival. That way, you know, you can kind of see how hard it is. Now, mana is going to pull from this pull as well to this spark as well, because they have sparks. So it is really good to have both of these kind of close to each other. And then, of course, like, you know, your ruined altar will be on the opposite side. You can keep it right here if you want, but I recommend it right there. That way nothing interferes. But you guys have a wonderful day. I do want to thank you so much for showing up. If you did like today's video, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the like button. And if you want the next update to the next video, there is a small bell. And if you do hit it, you will get all notifications on all videos uploaded. Thank y'all so much for coming. I will see you in the next one.